Thanks for spending time with us today on the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. If you like this podcast, like, share, subscribe, download, tell your friends about it. Doesn't matter. Hit me up on social, Go For Real 216. And as always, thank you to our sponsor, Credit Saint. Are you tired of being held back by bad credit? With Credit Saint, you can take control of your financial future and unlock the doors to better opportunities. Join the community of satisfied clients, over 14,000 five-star Google reviews, and experience personalized credit repair services that help you rebuild your credit score and achieve your dreams. Call 855-279-6799. That's 855-279-6799. Credit Saint will get you on the road to financial freedom. Thanks for joining us on the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. See you next time. We are back on the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast with your host, Go For Real 216. And we are live on Instagram, just so y'all know. My girl, KeyzByCeez, Sierra, is live on IG, and they're over there, so we want to say hi to them. We're going to try to answer some questions on Instagram on the podcast. So if you're on IG, you're going to want to visit YouTube and go to the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. You can also go on YouTube and just look up Go For Real 216, and it should come up as well. But want to answer some questions. But welcome back to the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast with me. You already know, Go For Real 216. If you don't know, now you know. I want to talk a little bit about today. Today's episode is going to be centered around extremely successful social media influencers and creators that generate car deals from their content. A lot of content by most creators, influencers. A lot of them do skits. Some of them do behind the scenes like I do. I started that, by the way, just for the record. But then there are a lot of creators out there who literally are just using social media to generate leads, car sales. End of story, period. Very focused, very targeted. Stuff that draws attention from potential customers, draws them in and lets them know with their content, with their captions, with their scripts, whatever that they're doing to shoot the content, letting everybody know. Make no mistake about it. I'm not here to try to make content. I am letting you know that I'm here to help you buy a vehicle. So I am today honored to have one of my favorite people in the car business, literally, with me today. Her name is Sierra. You want to say hi, Sierra?
Hi.
That's Sierra. Now, she goes by KeyzByCeez. Look her up, check her out. That's hashtag KeyzByCeez, at KeyzByCeez. She's very focused on Instagram. I'm working on getting her on some TikToks and some stuff like that. We're about to get there. We're going to get there for sure. But she uses IG in a way that most people don't. She doesn't have a crazy 100,000 follower count. She doesn't really even care to be quite honest with you. It is literally about generating car sales and helping people. The majority who may have had a bump or two on their credit, but certainly anybody who has an 800 credit score, obviously she's happy to sell a car to as well. So there's a different angle to being a content creator on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook than just making funny content, getting followers. Some people have no interest in becoming, the next big creator. They're literally using social media probably in the smartest way that equals direct income for them and their family and their loved ones. And I would say that Sierra is by no stretch an expert in that field. So want to introduce Sierra. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So Sierra and I go back a little bit. We worked together for a little while, had a lot of fun, made a lot of car deals, made a lot of people happy, got a lot of people approved. And we developed a friendship that I hope, lasts for a long time. But we're definitely two birds of a feather, hustlers, grinders, and, people who are very focused on making sure they take care of their clients. And that's one of the things that I really adore about her. So I'm going to get into a little bit, get to know her. And I want to also remind you that if you like this podcast, give me a like, give me a share, give me a follow, give me a subscribe. It's the hashtag Everyone Hates Car Salesman on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, everywhere you get your podcast. That's where we're at. And of course, you can always at Go For Real 216 and I'll send you the link. So lastly, want to say that this episode is sponsored by Credit Saint. Credit Saint's the number one credit repair in the country. Over 14,000 five-star reviews on Google, AAA rated by the Better Business Bureau, and one of our proud sponsors. We're happy to be partners with them. So I'm out of breath. What's up, girl? How
You
you
already
doing?
know. I'm good. I'm
I know you're
good.
doing good. You're always doing
Yeah.
good. Want to get started a little bit and kind of let people know. And I know that you are a private person, but I want to let people know about you a little bit. And I know you. I've been one of the ones lucky enough to break through and earn a little bit of your trust, and we've developed a friendship. But you do stay to yourself quite a bit. You're not out there. You're not out there trying to be out there,
Right.
trying too hard, doing too much. And it's frankly one of the things I admire about you. But I do want to let our listeners get to know you because you're a very interesting person and a very unique personality in a crazy business. You stand out in my mind. So tell me, Cliff Notes version. I mean, tell me about your journey. How did you get sitting right here with me? How'd you get in the business? What's your journey been like?
Okay, so before the car business, so I was in sales already. I was selling cell phones. So I was a third party vendor for Verizon.
Yeah.
My first month there, we became number one. I didn't do anything special. I wasn't on Instagram or anything. And I believe so the general manager or the owner, one of the two, reached out, came to meet me and said, I think you're limited here. I think you should try car sales.
Really?
And so I went on Indeed and I applied. At that time, I thought the auto mile was one place.
Yeah.
So I'm just applying.
One big place?
Yes.
Like one big building?
Yeah,
That's
I didn't know.
That's
so
awesome.
I applied.
Yeah.
And I had the same interview at two different places.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to one, got the job and whatever. Did not really like it. Ideally, I didn't like it. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I don't think I can do it this way with making all the phone calls and then basically having sell yourself.
Yeah.
So I created my own lane. That's when I was generating my own leads. I was pretty much setting my own appointments, being my own BDC.
And this was before people were doing it.
People were doing it.
Okay, gotcha.
This was in 2019. Since 2019, I've generated my own leads. I have not taken it up, which is,
That's
have
awesome.
Customers coming in. Hi, can I be a salesperson?
Yeah.
They came to me. So, from 2019 up until now, on average, I generate 400 leads a month. It wasn't easy. A lot of people want to get to this point, but what it took to get to this point, I don't have it in me anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
I was
you couldn't
there.
do it over again?
I couldn't do it
you
over
couldn't
again.
Start it over?
I wouldn't be. I don't
you.
have it in me.
Yeah.
I was at the dealership from 7 in the morning, and I was leaving probably 11 p.m.
Yeah.
I took every customer in. If it's 8 o'clock and they come in popping up at 7:50, come on. And
Yeah.
at that time, thank goodness, all the sales managers and everyone they were open to it. They were open to hustle with me. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I had the right team because, a lot of guys are ready to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Soon, they ready to go home. They don't want to take that last customer.
Yeah.
They'll have to come the next day. The whole team was thrilled and ready to get a credit at. And that's a lot of things I don't see these days. That's hard to get the right team because at the end of the day, as a salesperson, we all work for each other pretty much. So, I was good to have that structure at that dealership, which was a Honda dealership. So Honda has always been my go-to, and then the programs that they have, and then it being a reliable car. Like I said, from 7 o'clock till 11 p.m. was a regular for me, on top of me being a mother too. So it was not easy.
Yeah, because you got babies.
It was my son is 6 years old now, but that was a baby.
Oh, wow.
I had to sacrifice. I don't have that in me, but I knew, with my strategy, if I stick to it, my main thing was being honest. And I knew my honesty will get me further in this journey and to build those relationships to where I'm looking at a customer and I'm not saying, okay, I'm selling them a car. I'm becoming a friend with them. So they're going to tell their friends, their parents, their grandparents, and they're all going to get a car from me. And that's what it's been.
Yeah. So was that had to be an interesting dynamic for you to be coming into an industry, especially that was a little while ago. It was a different business back then.
Mm-hmm.
For you to come in with the attitude of let me just be me and transparent and honest and tell the truth and earn business that way. That was a very outlying way of doing business back then. Sure, there were other people like you, but the majority of the car business, we all have the stigma. So that it's pretty brave of you to be able to stand out in that manner, and certainly, obviously, you benefited from it. So, what would you say? I guess how do I phrase it? What would you say keeps you going today? Like, what's your passion today? Like, the key word today is what's your why, right? So, what's your why today? Why do you still grind like you do?
Just like the title of your podcast, the hate that salespeople have.
Yeah.
I don't really consider myself a salesperson anyway. I'm pretty much to a level where I don't care about the title, but I'm pretty much standing in the gap for the people that are purchasing a car. A lot of my clientele base are first-time buyers, are older people that haven't purchased a car in a long time or just don't understand the process and don't want to get taken advantage of. So that's when I stand into the gap to say, hey, these numbers do look right, or this is the type of approval you want to look for, or this is what you should be putting down, and this is what's required.
Yeah, more like a
and
consultant.
So I'm walking them, exactly, I'm consulting, and I'm walking them through it, but I'm more so like a family member to them that's in the, everybody has someone in the family, hey, they might be in another state, but they know about the car business, so they ask them.
Yeah.
I'm the go-to person with this, like, hey, is this right? Does this look right? So even if they don't purchase a car from me, they're comfortable with asking me those questions. Like, I'm not getting a car from you, but I do have someone that's going to be on the way, but I'm here now. Does this look right? And I'm okay to doing it. It doesn't feel like I'm working. Like,
which is awesome because normally it's an uncle or something. It's a grandpa or a dad or an uncle somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think a lot of people would imagine that you would be a lot of people's touch point, like, hey, Ceez, should I do this deal or is this a good deal for me?
Does this
you know what I
sound
mean?
right?
So that's funny because, like, normally it's let me call my dad, let me call my uncle, let me hit Ceez up. You know what I'm saying? So I can see.
So they may still be making those calls to the dad or the uncle, but then they're like, okay, well, hold on, because I know a person.
The dad and the uncle call you. Yeah, they may call you.
They'll call me.
That's funny.
So
yeah, you've done a great job of building. I mean, the rapport that you're able to build with these people is amazing. I've seen it up close in person, and one of the things I want to talk about, which I think a lot of people don't still understand, is if they go to your page, your site, your page, whatever, your socials, and they watch you and they watch some of your videos and, they watch people on there talking about how great it was and everything like that. A lot of people still don't get, and I'd like you to expand on it, that is such a qualified lead. It's like a referral. They already know you. It's like they're getting a referral from somebody that bought a car from you, even though they're not physically watching you and getting to know you. And, it's like a referral lead. So touch on that a little bit, how it's an easier deal in general for you than it is for the guy taking the up off the street.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, as far as the videos I take when a customer get a car or they shout me out after they've purchased, understand everyone knows somebody that knows somebody. We're on social media, so that person is shouting me out.
Yeah.
And it's genuine. I'm not giving them a script.
Yeah.
It's genuine. They're happy. They just got their car. And then, hey, my followers see them. Some may know them. So they get the inquiring with them. Like, hey, did you really get this car? What did you have to do? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So they're telling them the process. So I pretty got all these millions helping.
They're doing the work for you.
They're doing the work for me. And they're happy to do it because they're satisfied.
That's great. Yeah.
As opposed to sometimes there's customers that purchase a car from somewhere and then they have that buyer's remorse. What's the chances of them even telling anyone where they got their car from, let alone what they went through, and that person going to purchase a car as well? So it's like a snowball effect for me, and that's just how it is organically.
Yeah, and which is great because you don't do paid ads
at all.
I mean, you don't do paid ads. Some of your content may look like an ad, but it is not a paid ad. It's not something that you paid to get in front of that person's face. And I think a lot of people, if you ever looked in your analytics, I don't know if you have or not, but you probably have, but I would think a lot of people aren't happening onto you. I think they're being told to go to your page because of your relationships that you build with them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are sharing your profile. And I think I would bet 50% of your leads are probably being from the profile shared, as opposed to, hey, I'm just scrolling on IG today. Oh, what's this girl? You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet you it's 50-50.
Yeah, I think most of it's word of mouth referrals.
I think so
for
too.
Sure. Yeah.
Isn't it great though that today's word of mouth is make a video, somebody sees it, they share it, they like it, they follow, their friend sees it, shows up on their feed.
Yeah.
So it's like the old school way, or it's the new school way of doing the old school.
Yeah.
Hey, who's next to buy a car in your family?
Yeah,
Who are the next 10 people? You know what I'm saying? That's the old school referral system, So, super interesting. I don't know why more people aren't onto it, but, more for us, right? So, what would you say so far, what's your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge?
Yeah, so far, what's your biggest challenge that you've come across? Let me put it to you this way. Was there ever something that happened or an event or a period in time that made you second guess it or be like, man, I don't know if I can do this anymore? There's a lot.
So it takes a lot of patience,
for
sure. Being that I kind of market the people that have a hard time, whether purchasing or is kind of uncomfortable with walking into the dealership, whether that be that they think they may not get qualified or they just don't feel comfortable walking in there. So then I have all of these text messages and phone calls to where it's a lot of reassurance and everything, which is why I'm glad I did come up with the pre-approval process.
Yeah.
It was very challenging, and it would be more challenging now if I still did it the way where everybody is just walking in every single day. I have 20 customers sitting in front of me, and then only 5 of them can get approved.
Yeah.
That's draining.
So I mean, has it ever become so overwhelming that it's like, man, I
have times I have to just power the phone off.
Yeah, you just got to disconnect.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you about a customer would call me at 4 a.m, FaceTime me.
4 a.m.
I'm like, this has to be a
Ain't
family
nothing going
member.
on good at 4 a.m.
I said, it's an emergency. This is a family member. It's a customer saying, hey, Ceez, I need some keys.
Oh, stop.
Nothing is open. No, I can help you. You're not
you don't know how to turn your thing off so you don't get bothered?
So I mean, it just happened to be on that night. But it's just like, but that's also shows the comfortability that they have grown. Don't know me from really personally, haven't met me in person, but they just have that comfort to say, hey, I need to call. Let me call her right now. I'm not thinking about what time it is. Or maybe they have been coming back from the bar or something. I don't know, but I was on their mind.
Or maybe they're working an early shift and they started at 5.
I think they were
for
coming.
real.
No, that particular girl was coming from the club or something.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I hit you up at 4 a.m. This is a different conversation. I promise you. At 4 a.m.
I said, who is it? I said, okay. I think that's why the crack is on my work phone now. That was that same phone. But yeah, stuff like that, it gets a little frustrating. And then I never really, I don't like to put it out there that there is a guarantee with anything.
No.
Because that's not true.
You can't.
I mean, sometimes you need a cosigner. Sometimes you need more money down.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just have to file bankruptcy or
Yeah.
something.
Sometimes,
and I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, come on in. I never had an issue with them showing up.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they're qualified and they're prepared. They have the steps gathered or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, make this as much as a car deal as possible or close enough to it. If you're not approved, I'll tell you why.
Yeah. See, I like your process, and in the second half we'll get to your process. But what I like about your process is that you're not gonna say, yeah, come on in, I'm gonna get you in a car. You're not going to say that. And I've heard you on the phone with people, and I've heard you talking to people. I've seen the emails and the text messages. You're very much like, get in my process. Let me make sure that I can help you before we go wasting your time, because they got kids and family and husbands and jobs. You ain't trying to, and I think that's awesome compared to what most people do is, come on in, if you get it, you're like, no. And you even will say that to the managers at the stores, like, I'm not about to get them to come in here if we don't know if we got something.
Absolutely.
So if let's
save everyone's some time.
If you're too lazy to call in and get it approved, we just ain't ever gonna know if we have a car deal. I need to know because I'm not doing this to that person. Yeah. Which is very cool. So we'll get into that, I think, a little bit in the second half, but we're going to take a little quick break. I think that my girl's about to go live on IG after we get done here. So, so that'll be cool. We'll get some questions, but we'll take a little bit of a break here, and we'll come back and get to know you a little bit more, as much as you'll let us get to know you. And we'll learn about your process a little bit. And I do want to talk about how other people, how could you show other people how to do this? But we'll get to that. So stick with us. All right. Back to my girl. So I want to talk a little bit about Sierra before we get to a couple IG questions. I want to dive in a little bit farther with you and your process, because I think one of the things that you're passionate about, I know, like myself, is you want to show other people how to do this too. And so give me a brief overview. If you had 5 minutes, okay, let's do the microwave version. If you had 5 minutes to teach somebody how to do what you do, overview, I know it's much longer than that. Give me the cliff notes. How does somebody try to do what you do, generating as many car deals as you do using Instagram?
Right. I think the best thing they could do is be honest. No, I'm serious. You know that's my routine.
Yeah.
Just be honest. You know, car salespeople have a bad reputation. They're lying. They'll tell you anything just to sell you a car, and then once you purchase the car, you don't hear from them again. So I would say when you purchase that car, or when you sell a car to someone, just keep in mind that you want to see them again.
Yeah.
Whether that be for a purchase or they're going to call you and say, I have a referral for you.
Yeah.
So what can you do on your end to make sure that stays or that relationship sticks? I mean, be a good person.
Just be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So my thing as far as helping people, not just to try to have people do exactly what I do, because I'm in my own lane with it. But if you want to grow your own business, I think you really should stick with, like, just try to be a good person. You know, work on yourself, and you will be likable. I mean, you don't have to try to follow trends or anything like that. Be yourself, and you will be likable.
But could you show somebody? Could you
Like you said,
could you
someone new?
replicate what you do and pass that info on to somebody, a salesperson who's like, I'm sick of taking store leads. I'm sick of having to
Oh,
wait
absolutely.
Could you show somebody if necessary? Like, this is
Yeah.
how you do it?
I don't go a whole lot of places, but anywhere I go, if I'm swimming, I'm gonna ask them what kind of car they're driving. Prospect everywhere you go. I just try to sell him a car, and he sell car. Everywhere you go, someone need a car somewhere. Someone knows how to drive. If they don't need a car, they know someone that do. Like, and even working for a dealership, you are your own brand. You are.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sell, so you want to have your own side of business cards if that dealership don't mind.
Yeah.
Have your own business cards, so when you're outside of the dealership, hey, this is me. If you ever need a car, this is what I have.
Yeah.
And start building that up. Eventually, you will get phone calls. Eventually, you will have people that want to purchase just from you. They don't have to know exactly where you are yet. You know, a lot of times you move around in this industry. So it's good to always have your own personal contact to when you sell cars of your own referrals, you want to keep that referral book.
It kind of goes back to one of my favorite sayings. I know he's in the news right now, so I'm gonna be a little careful. But you know, a very famous rapper said one time, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man." Right? And I think
absolutely,
I think that's the level that you're at. So so that's great advice. And I think that if somebody reached out to you and said, "Hey, I want to do it how you do it," I think that you are the type of person who's passionate about helping people. You would be happy to show somebody, you know what I mean, kind of what you do and whatnot if they were committed to it. And who knows? See, maybe there's a training program out. Maybe that's a business. Maybe that's a training program that you put out there, because I've seen you sell 35 cars a month, 40 cars a month, sometimes more, sometimes a few less, using nothing but Instagram. And how much time per day do you spend on your Instagram platform? Like, it's not much, right? I mean, how much of your day is doing Instagram? Is it an hour? Is it less?
It depends on what I'm doing. I mean, I scroll on a regular, but as far as like posting content and stuff like that to generate leads, probably 30 minutes.
Now, that doesn't count when you're peeping my page.
What's your page? What's the name of your page? What's the name of?
You already know.
I mean, it isn't time consuming for real. Once you get to doing it like that, eventually you'll have to hire people. I mean, you keep it going, you'll have to hire people.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a team, I couldn't do this on my own.
Well, and
then you want it to grow like that.
That's where I think a lot of people come up short, and that's where your entrepreneurial spirit has always impressed me. You have people that work with you, for you, whatever you want to say. Most people say, "Oh, I'll just do the leads and I'll do the post and I'll do this." It gets to be too much, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, you need people.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, to generate the amount of volume you do, you definitely need people. If you want to sell 2 cars a month off of there, sure, you can do it yourself. You want to sell 40, you're going to need some help, right? But that's just your business acumen coming out there, letting you know, hey, I'm gonna get better if I get people around me and I share a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you have one car deal that sticks out for you? One situation, maybe it's not a car deal, maybe it's something that wasn't a car deal. One situation that sticks out, a funny or favorite situation that you remember, like, oh my God, I remember when this happened. Is there a deal like that? Crazy?
Yeah, I have several. Of course. Most recently, probably a year ago, this lady was like 96 years old. She was trading out of a 1993 Altima or something like that. She had credit. She was an 800 score. She was putting $5,000 down. And of course I got her approved. But initially, understand I'm at 4 different dealerships.
Yeah.
I'm at 4 different locations, so I know what numbers are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
The first location we were at, she was going to get taken advantage of. So before she even signed the paperwork, I said, no, thank you. She's not getting a car from here. And understand that I'm a contractor. I'm not an employee.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
even if I was, me, I'm not
no.
going for it. These are my customers.
Yeah.
So, she hasn't purchased a car since the 90s, so she don't know what she's signing up for isn't right.
Yeah.
And thank goodness whoever referred her to me, they knew that she was going to be in good hands. So I took her somewhere else. She got what she was looking for the price she was looking for. And what was funny was she tried to go in her purse and slip me some money.
No.
I said, no, I can't. This is what I do. I'm going to get paid for it anyway.
Yeah.
And that was just so funny. But she had a bad experience, though, previously, before coming to me.
Yeah.
She was trying to purchase a car from somewhere else, and the young lady told her she was going to pick her up. She never showed up.
Oh, wow.
And she said,
96 years old?
yes, she never showed up.
Waiting
and
out in
so,
the snow?
yeah,
She
it
waiting out in
wasn't,
the
I
snow?
don't think it was cold that time, but it was still,
Yeah.
you know, older people, they get up really, really early.
Oh, yeah.
She was up early, ready,
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
And when I told her I was going to pick her up myself and take her somewhere else, she kept like asking me, like, am I sure? And I felt like somebody must have lied to her before. And that's what it was when I did pick her up. She told me that. And that goes to show, like, the salespeople lie. Why did you lie to that older lady?
Yeah.
So she had a bad experience. And then she said the girl rescheduled and she didn't show up again.
Oh my gosh.
So she told her, I'm sorry, I missed the appointment. I had to go to my grandfather's funeral. And the lady was funny. She said, well, she didn't know her grandfather passed before she set the appointment. And then she missed the next one. Yeah, she missed the next appointment. And the lady was like, well, I hope her grandma didn't die this time. But she never said anything. She just stood the lady up. But you know, that was a prime deal. She was qualified, overqualified.
Wow. That's crazy.
And this goes to show back with my retention and my referrals. When I brought her back with her new car, everybody on that street needs to upgrade their car.
Yeah.
All of their houses is paid for.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a whole nother list of clientele that you have from that, from just being a good person.
That's awesome. That's all. I don't know why the people lie and say they're gonna do something and then they don't. You know what I mean? But you know, I mean, good for you that people do, because you know you scoop those people right up. What's if you could go back in time? If you go back in time, I want all your IG followers to hear this too. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give a younger Sierra, a 21-year-old Sierra? What advice would you give her?
Advice, me just like when I first was starting.
Yeah, if you go back now and talk to a younger you, what would you tell her? What advice?
Don't put too much strain on myself. I was hustling like it was no tomorrow, like literally. But I don't regret it.
Yeah.
But I definitely put a lot of strain on myself.
Yeah.
Like, I did not have to wake up that early, and I didn't have to take appointments to 9 p.m. The banks were closed.
Yeah.
I was grinding.
Right.
Yeah, the banks were closed. I'm like, y'all can't make the banks stay open later. Like, I was really like, I had that, like it was no tomorrow.
Where'd that come from? Where'd that grind come from?
I mean, I guess, like, you know, growing up, I have a lot of brothers. We all like, I mean, it was just a natural thing for me.
Competitive?
Yeah, it was just, we were competitive. Yeah. It was just, that's how I had fun. It was fun. It was nothing.
Yeah.
But now I look back, like that time, being in those dealerships, it's like I lived in there.
What about if
CJ, you know.
What'd they say?
CJ Carshawn was in there with me.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Shout out, like, we were there till 9 p.m., 11 p.m. sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah, like, it was just in me. That ambition was just in me. I'm like, y'all call the banks. What time they close? I'm upset the banks is closed.
Right.
I didn't know how it went, but I'm like, why would they be closed if people still here purchasing the car? Like,
right.
But I love, like, all of my customers had patience. They had more patience than me. They're the ones waiting for a car, and they were like really patient.
Yeah, I've seen
they didn't complain at all. They would sit all day long and not complain.
What now? If you,
so I appreciate that.
If you could have dinner with 3 people, live or unalive, 3 people you could have dinner with. I know I'm number 1, but aside from me,
I ain't gonna name the ones I really gonna name. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Aside from me, what 3 people?
Aside
live or
from
unalive?
you.
Aside from me, I'm number 1. I mean.
Man, he just set up appointments. I didn't stood him up 6 times. What are you talking about?
You be trying to have dinner.
I done stood him up 6 times.
No,
Where we supposed to go before you went to Chirac? But let me see. 3 people. Ask me again so I can think about it again.
You want me to ask you something else?
No, ask me that. I just want to be. Right. I want to make sure I pick the people.
We're gonna start over. Sierra, question: if you could have dinner with any 3 people, live or unalive, who would they be? Go. All
I'm
3.
not gonna lie to you. I can't think of anybody.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I can't think of anybody. Can I ask you?
That's fair. Yeah, you can ask me.
Yeah, who would it be?
You.
Okay, I'm gonna stop spinning you. I'm gonna stop spinning them. Like he keep trying to. No, we were supposed to go. I will. Let's go get lunch after this then.
Okay.
After your appointment, after your 4:30.
Officially on IG.
No, I'm not even sure. I'm
Sierra's
sorry.
we're going out to dinner. No, but for me it's easy. I mean, it's Michael Jordan.
Okay.
It's Michael Jordan. It's Muhammad Ali, and it's Jesus.
Okay.
Those are my 3.
So I sit with Jesus every day. I eat with him every day. So yeah, in a more like lively sense, of course, in his flesh, yes, I would love that. But yeah, I spend time with him every day. But I'm not a starstruck type person, to be honest. Like if LeBron walked in here, I would speak to him and everything, but I would also ask him what kind of car he drives, just like I do anybody on the street, and see if he would like to get a Honda or something. To be honest, like I don't mean
he look good in like a
Prologue.
Like
I don't do the Prologue would fit him and everything. He'll have space in it and everything. Like
so.
Yeah,
we're getting close to wrapping it up, but I'm curious. And again, you're a little bit of a private person. You hustle in silence, which is cool. But what's next? What's next for you? I mean, we just gonna ride this till the wheels fall off. You got plans?
Yeah, we go. When the wheels fall off, we gonna swim. What's gonna happen is, what I look forward to is taking this further than just Cleveland. Like I went to Maryland. I want to keep going. Like I want to keep hitting those areas where they don't have a me. When I did this in 2019, there were so many people of our culture that did not want a Honda. I don't want a Honda, anything but a Honda. Not a city flooded with Hondas.
Yeah, it is.
For real. Like Mayfield.
I see your plate frames.
Parshawn, on Mayfield, there was not there. I didn't really see many African Americans going into that dealership on Mayfield in Cleveland Heights. I'm not there anymore, but I know I set a tone there. Mayfield looked like the Auto Mile now. Also, I just want to go in areas in different locations. I want to branch out and be like, hey, this is what's going on. They have programs to where we can be qualified, or there's programs to where just because you don't have the best credit or you don't know what to do or you don't think you can. So I want to go there and spread that news. That's all.
That's a good plan.
And I see me growing, going, different locations and doing that and spreading that information. But not just bad credit, good credit too, but people that's just uneducated on the car buying process.
100%. Now, so if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, if they wanted to say, I'm going to get a hold of her to learn how to do what she does, or I'm a customer, I want to talk about buying a car from her. Somebody wants to get a hold of you. How do they do that? What's the best way?
The church doors are open at 11 o'clock a.m. That's your best way you're gonna come.
She's not lying.
I'm not even trying to be funny. Like service started at 11 o'clock. If you want to really reach me, you're trying to reach me, you're gonna come see me at church. Other than that, like when you call me, if you don't have my personal number, when you're texting my assistant. Like it's really hard to contact me, and I don't mean nothing by it. But on the days I'm taking walk-ins, you can walk in and see me then. But I get so many calls and stuff. Like it'd be hard for me to really just answer the phone all the time. And I don't mean nothing by that, but I've also had times where I answered the phone, and like I told you, I don't mind giving information, but there could be a customer literally sitting at a whole different dealership that I'm not associated with asking me questions. And I'm gonna give them the information, but you sit in a whole different barber seat asking me how to cut your hair. Like, I don't mind, but that's why it gets kind of draining, you know? You have to do my pre-approval application. You get approved. 9 times out of 10, you may bump into me. If you need a ride, I will pick you up and everything. I go to church at Dunham Avenue Christian Church on E66 in Quimby. It's right off of Hub. They asked. Doors open. Service started at 11. I'm an evangelist there. I got like 40 people joined the church within 1 year or less. About 20 people have been baptized. Yeah. So
that happened. That just happened. Just so everybody knows, that just happened. All right. Well, personally, I want to thank you. It's been fun getting to know you a little bit more now, and I'm sure that the listeners out there have enjoyed you. You're such a fun person to be around. I admire what you do and how you do it and who you are and how you're just a leader by example, which is amazing. Thanks for spending time with us today on the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. If you like this podcast, like, share, subscribe, download, tell your friends about it. Doesn't matter. Hit me up on social, Go For Real 216. And as always, thank you to our sponsor, Credit Saint. Are you tired of being held back by bad credit? With Credit Saint, you can take control of your financial future and unlock the doors to better opportunities. Join the community of satisfied clients, over 14,000 five-star Google reviews, and experience personalized credit repair services that help you rebuild your credit score and achieve your dreams. Call 855-279-6799. That's 855-279-6799. Credit Saint will get you on the road to financial freedom. Thanks for joining us on the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. See you next time.